Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, and I'm with level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry bro. Our Ghana Talks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're gonna talk about our culture, our history. Matuni ding setete abako sem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say it. No artists go join me in the studio. We're gonna discuss about music and business. Konya, or you singer, and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go fit spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our Ghana Talks Radio, and yes, say then our day. Me say download the Ghana Talks Radio app, no, our Play Store, any App Store. No tune in, and say this is what you see. Baba live on Facebook, Kointakra, any Ghana Talks Radio page, and so now listen. I bet you fire. 1 year, Konya, Wading, Jajan.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. Good morning, Ghana. Good morning, lovely listeners of Ghana Talks Radio. It's a beautiful, brand new day, and it's a Monday morning. And you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show right here on Ghana Talks Radio. This is the news headline review. Here we bring you all the latest headlines making waves in the news, from business to politics, from sports to entertainment. We got you covered with the most relevant stories. As usual, remain your host, Ruth Esenam Fiagbedu. And joining me this morning on my news headline review is Miss Regina Bless. Good morning, Miss Regina.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good. What's of you?
I'm blessed. I'm fine. How was the weekend for you?
The weekend was cool.
You are looking pretty this morning.
Thank you.
Any momo alert?
Oh, no. Hey, the way I make hot.
I know, right? It's a brand new week, and this week is payday.
Exactly.
So obviously the week is going to end in joy. Yeah. All right, let's dive straight into our news story for this morning. Patronize local product to create jobs, Agric Minister tells Ghanaians. Minister of Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku, has called on Ghanaians to actively support the country's agricultural value chain by choosing locally produced goods over imported alternatives. He warned that the continued preference for foreign products is undermining the national effort to boost employment and strengthen the economy. Speaking at Channel 1 TV's Agric Fair at the Efwa Sutherland Park in Accra on Saturday, he said Ghanaian farmers and processors are doing their part by producing and adding value to agricultural products. Still, their efforts are being frustrated by the low patronage from local consumers. He said, the biggest challenge that confronts us as a nation is not from the government, it is from the people of Ghana. He added, when you look at the farmers they have produced, the processors have added value, but the Ghanaian consumers will go to the market and choose foreign products against what is produced here. He noted that such consumer behavior fuels job creation in other countries at the expense of Ghana's workforce. He stressed, if you do that, your expenditure is creating jobs elsewhere, while your people are suffering. Mr. Opoku emphasized that every cedi spent on Ghanaian-made products contributes to job creation and national development. He urged the public to develop a sense of responsibility and national pride by supporting locally made goods. Yeah, so this is coming from the Minister for Agric, Food and Agriculture, and he says that he's urging all Ghanaians to patronize locally produced goods, especially in the agriculture sector, because it's a means of, creating jobs and strengthening the national economy. And he made this statement during an agric fair in Accra, which Channel 1 organized this Saturday. He expressed concerns that many Ghanaians still prefer imported goods over products made by locally made farmers and processors. And he said this trend, according to him, undermines local production and exports, job opportunities to foreign countries. He urged that while Ghanaian farmers are working very hard, they are working so tirelessly to produce food and add value through processing, their efforts are being frustrated by poor local patronage. By choosing foreign goods, Ghanaians are indirectly choosing foreign goods. We Ghanaians are indirectly creating jobs in other countries instead of supporting our own workforce. He concluded by calling for national pride and responsibility, highlighting that every cedi spent on Ghanaian products helps to boost employment and derive development. Yes, so he's urging all Ghanaians, please patronize locally produced goods right here in Ghana, because it creates job for other people as well. Miss Regina, do you think this is actually a mindset that we Ghanaians have, that we find pleasure in, patronizing foreign goods rather than patronizing locally made goods right here in Ghana?
We will continue to create jobs for people out there, in the sense that Ghanaians will continue to choose, the outsiders' food over
Foreign.
Local goods. Because first of all, local goods are not, affordable. Secondly, they are not well packaged. And thirdly, they are not of high quality. Ghanaians will only and would consistently patronize local goods if these three things are seen to. So in as much as the message is good, this is the time where the government and also local producers need to, up their games. Yes, let me put it that way. Because there's no way I'll go to the market and see a local good and I wouldn't say I wouldn't buy it. I would buy it if it is affordable, if it is well packaged and high quality. I would buy it if these three things meet my standard. We will always and continue to use local rice, for example. Local rice is nothing to write home about. A come do now now I was a mona na you would wash washing machine in pomfano. You will wash this rice, wash. And after cooking it, you still be eating stones in that rice. How would we patronize this kind of rice? But just imagine it is processed well. It is affordable. It is well packaged. And its quality is high. Don't you think we'll buy it? We will buy it.
We will buy it.
Compared to the jasmine, the basmati, and all that is being brought into the country, we will buy our local rice and leave the foreign goods. In Ghana here,
Right.
even when you go to School Junction, there's a shop there that deals with affordable imported goods. They've written on top UK goods, and it's affordable. Very affordable.
But is it of good quality?
It's of good quality and its packaging is top notch.
Wow.
As a producer or as a creator, what do you think you would do to get people's attention? It's your packaging and how you brand it.
Right.
But
But the packaging
the
alone
packaging
will
itself
attract
would
someone.
attract. So if the packaging attracts, make sure that the content in it will also attract,
Right.
so that the next time we see it, we will buy it. Me, I've bought an ice cream before. I saw the ice cream, the packaging was nice, I bought it. I ate it, it was no. So anytime I see it, I'll pass. I won't buy it.
You won't buy it.
Same goes to local rice. I won't buy it. Let's use Kumasi Mpaba for example. In Kumasi Mpaba is very quality. It's quality. But I would say in a way it's kind of expensive,
It's
because I would
expensive.
say that the materials being used is also expensive. So this is the time where we Ghanaians, as you said, we need to exhibit the spirit of being patriotic.
Yeah.
And should I say, and purchase it where demand is high. No, or demand or supply.
Where demand is high.
Where demand is high, supply is also high. And I remember
Yeah.
that is it.
Yeah.
So my host says when demand is high, supply is also high.
Yeah.
So if we the consumers, we demand more of what is being brought,
They'll supply
automatically they'll supply it. And I think that is where cost will go down, because as it stands now, I feel that the reason why these locally made goods are expensive is because a lot goes in, and that a lot that goes in, people are still not patronizing it. Our attention is mainly on the foreign goods, and the government also needs to come in to make sure that all these goods or this raw material supplied to the producers, at the end of it, we get what we want. It should be made affordable. I believe if the raw materials are affordable, at the end of the day, whatever they do and bring out to the public, it would also be affordable. Because if imagine it's expensive and they are done, it's not only the raw materials they use, they add other chemicals and other things to make sure that it is being preserved well.
Right.
So if all these things being put into it are expensive, at the end of the day, when it comes, they'll also put a lot of money onto it. And at the end of the day, we will not buy it because it's expensive.
Right.
So it should be affordable to the producers, and at the end of the day, it should also be affordable to the consumers. So I repeat, and I stand by the fact that Ghanaians will only purchase locally made goods if it's affordable, well packaged, and of high quality. So the message is good, but the government and producers also need to make sure that they work towards achieving this goal. So in as much as it's our duty, it's also the duty of the government.
Of the government to
Yes.
also do what they have to do to help these farmers also do the right thing. Because he said that the value change has been added. They are doing so well to process the food and all of that. They are producing more foodstuffs. But just that we Ghanaians are feeling so reluctant.
So now it's our fault.
Yeah. He's saying that it's we Ghanaians our fault. It's our mindset. Why are we not patronizing locally made goods? Well, perhaps I could say that the reason people don't really patronize locally made goods will simply be because of one or two experience they've had with locally made goods. Not necessarily in the agricultural sector, but when you come to other sectors as well, such as the shoemaking side, and then all of that. You see that the mpawane is top notch, but just that it's expensive.
Very expensive.
The materials,
Imagine, sorry to interrupt you. Imagine Birkenstock coming from outside Ghana. It's not all that expensive, but imagine it's being made right here in Ghana. Birkenstock, original Birkenstock is like should I say 200, 250. But tobacco says shoemaker kasankasa enya sa Birkenstock ne ma no jai. Or the beer to so
Or the better so.
300, 400. I'll be like, there's one shoemaker mayor mempawa one ho, and I'll be like, so why do you people do this to us? Then you'll be like, the things are expensive. Or even if you are going to buy proper leather in town, it's very expensive. I'm saying really.
Yeah, and counterfeits no so hard also.
Yeah, true.
The counterfeit is too much. So when it happens like that, you are contemplating if what you are buying is actually the original, or is fake.
Yeah.
So better the why won't I buy it outside? Then I know in my mind that obviously it's the quality one that I bought.
Yeah.
So I think these.
With that, they are not even scared to even pay whatever excess fee that comes with it.
But if you buy locally made goods, the way you scrutinize it, you look for expiring dates and all of that. But buy foreign good right now, you not even pay attention,
you wouldn't bother.
Because we've come to that stage that we are trusting the product so much that we have in our mind that yes, it's good. As long as buy locally, you buy tin tomatoes or tinapa, you check for expiring date.
You see, there's you kind of saying car tie.
Yeah.
You know, there's a car tie slippers.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So let's use that car tie slippers for example. Which me for 100 years.
Oh yes.
Your generations upon generations will come to meet that car tie. So I feel that how they are producing that car tie slippers, naturally it's not nice because who will be nice now car tie no. So why don't you get more of that and produce it and make it nice? For that we know that it's original. I know they ought to meet but make it nice and make it attractive. So that it would be appealing to the consumers or passerbys. Because if I see it and maybe someone say, hey, in Papa dear, you Pache saying it's affordable. Not cheapo, it's affordable. Affordable yet quality.
Yeah.
That is what we are looking for.
And another thing we Ghanaians lack is innovation. When immediately we see the whites have actually brought a product in town, we also go and do the same thing. Why won't you add like spice to it and then change it? We were not having sachet powdered pepper, but when Kibo started it, a lot of people were patronizing it. That was so innovative. You go and buy pepper and then they've tied it in rubber. Someone saw it and then was like, oh, why don't we do it in sachet, nice, neatly packaged? Were we not patronizing it?
We were.
We were.
And even with the Gary mix.
Yeah, and even with the Gary mix, look at that.
It's a great.
One thing we lack as Ghanaians is innovation. One winner. So when it happens like that, we are stuck with one product for a long time.
Yes.
So moving on to another product becomes a problem.
It becomes a problem, and I understand.
Yeah.
We lack innovation. Let's use this brands for example. We have the Gucci, the is it the Versace? We have the Louis Vuitton,
Chanel.
the Chanel, Chanel. Chanel. We all have that. Ube who bibi niyo? Why? Oh, my bag is here. This is the original Louis Vuitton, yeah.
Okay.
So you see a Ghanaian who will make this bag. Not Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Chanel. In fact, all the brands, all the designer brands, it's on one bag.
It's on one bag.
How can a classic lady see that bag and buy it? Will you buy it?
No, I won't buy it.
I won't buy it. We have Hermes. Bibi Nimbe Hermes, rubber. I won't buy it.
Obviously not. You won't buy it.
Come up with your own style.
Yeah.
With your own creation.
Right.
Outside what someone has already done. But Ghanaians, no. Copy and paste nah.
All right. Miss Debbie, you're welcome. Yeah, so we were actually on the first topic, which has to do with the agric minister urging all Ghanaians to patronize locally made goods because it creates jobs for people. He also mentioned that every cedi that we spend to buy these foreign goods, it's actually you creating job for these foreigners outside on our expenditure. So briefly, do you think it's a mindset of we Ghanaians not to, purchase our own locally made goods, especially when it comes to the agriculture sector?
Well, I think the main reason why we don't patronize our own good is because they lack quality, the quality of what is made. And the more reason why, it's not as if you are not being creative, but the more reason why it also seems as if we copy from other people is because we ourselves don't like to patronize what is made from, like the designs that are made from this country.
Right.
We like to patronize things, even if it is China made. We know that it's not good, but we want to patronize it because we feel like what you are doing is, one, is not quality enough, and two, if I'm the producer, I'm the one, coming up with all those designs, you will not buy it. So the best thing to do is to make my own product, and then with a copy of what others are making out there, I design it with the same thing so that you can feel attractive to it and buy. And let's also look at it from this side. From the agriculture sector, I know people in Ghana that make locally made rice that are made locally from Ghana, and it is well packaged, like the one we import from outside the country.
Right.
But how good is it? Sometimes you buy this rice, you prepare it with enough water. It is hard, as if it is made from plastic.
Wow.
But this is rice. And most of the rice, you don't even know the taste. There is this particular rice, I don't want to mention its name. You buy it, it is locally made in the country. You buy it today, it has a different taste from what you buy the next moment or maybe the next month. You buy this, it's the same rice, but it has different taste. You buy it today, the taste is all right. The next time you go to buy it, and then the taste is different. Just imagine. So imagine the first taste attracted me to buy it, and then the next time I go to buy it, and I won't come and buy it again.
Obviously not.
Because I feel like there is a change. So I feel like we will patronize it, but those coming up with those creative ideas should also make it in a way that we, those who purchase it, will feel comfortable in purchasing it.
Right.
And they will feel the vibe in it, and they will continue to buy it. And it's very difficult because growing up, we have this perception in mind that locally made goods in Ghana are not proper.
Are inferior.
They are inferior. So like immediately you buy the things, even though the thing is good, but you feel like I didn't also
Wow.
like ever say.
Okay.
So the best thing is, once we are patronizing, they should also step up their
They should
game.
also step up their game. All right. Moving on to our next news story. President Mahama hints of election of MMDCEs from 2026. President John Dramani Mahama has said metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executive could be elected from 2026 as part of planned reforms in local governance that include direct elections and greater financial control for local assemblies. President Mahama said the National Review Committee on Local Governance is finalizing consultations on proposed constitutional changes, including the introduction of elections for district chief executive. He added that the recent public surveys show broad support for the change, suggesting the current MMDCEs may be the last group to be appointed. MMDCEs, you may be the last batch of MMDCEs appointed. The National Review Committee is going round. I am sure some of you would have been consulted, and it will present its recommendation in August. And one of the major items that has been canvassed is the election of DCEs. There's no doubt the Ghanaians want their DCEs elected, President Mahama told the gathering of new MMDCEs. Yeah, so that is coming from President John Dramani Mahama, and he's, giving us a hint that in 2026, there may be an election for MMDCEs, that is Metropolitan, Municipal, and District Chief Executive. They are not going to be appointed anymore. And looking from from a data they collected through surveys, it tells us all that people actually want to elect for their MMDCEs rather than them being appointed. Do you think that is a good call, briefly?
Yeah, it is.
Right.
It is a good call because since this current administration came into power, they've appointed a lot of MMDCs, and up to
Right.
now we have people that are protesting. Immediately the president appoints someone, they'll be like, "This is not what we want.
They
This
have
is the
issues.
people. Yeah, they have issues with them." And then I mean the election is real, like it's real round. And then still, these people will come out to complain that they don't like the president's appointees.
Right.
So with the president coming out to specify that in the coming year, I mean, we are going to vote, is good. And I hope that, I'm sure, and I know that it will be very transparent. And I feel like voting for them, voting for MMDC will also help the people to appoint the people they feel like can work for their constituency or can work for their community. Because I believe if the president appoints the MMDC, in a way, I feel like it's a bit of bias. Because sitting at your office, I might feel like maybe this person is good, this person can actually work. But then down to the roots, the people in the community knows their people. They are there with them. They've been working with them. They know the people that are working for the community for God knows how many years now. So they know the people they'll vote for. It's just like you going in to vote for your member of parliament. You know who is working, you know who is not working. But with the president appointing someone, you can see it from your face, and then from your point of view, be like, looking at this person, he's very good. And I know definitely it's recommendations from around. But even with that, how sure are you that these people can actually do their work? So choosing the MMDC, I feel like it's a good call. It's going to allow transparency rate, and then I feel like it's also help the people in choosing the right, I mean, individuals for the work as it stands. So I feel like that's all. Yeah.
All right, Miss Regina, what do you make of the hint President Mahama gave for the election of MMDCs in 2026?
Okay, so this all boils down to decentralization, and also she said it also, just a quick one. It boils down to decentralization and also the people getting to elect people who they are connected to. Yeah, so that's all.
Right. Okay, moving on. Well, before we move on, I think it's as we want the person to lead us. Maybe perhaps they've lived with that person in that community and they know the competence of that person. I'm not trying to say that maybe those that are appointed, they are not competent, or maybe they don't do a proper research. But I feel like we are in a democratic world. Why won't you just allow people to vote for their leader rather than you appointing them? And this has actually led to a whole lot of chaos and in some constituencies and in some regions of us hearing people not accepting who President Mahama has appointed to be their MMDCs. So for peace to reign, I think that was a good one from President John Dramani Mahama, giving us that hint that from henceforth, they are not going to appoint them. They may be. So they are going through a constitutional review. And I'm of the hope that we actually get to elect for our own MMDCs rather than them appointing them for us, so we don't have any kind of chaos again, God willing, next year, if there should be any kind of like appointment. All right, that takes us to our next story. Let's solve our internal problems before electing a flag bearer, Kennedy Japan tells NPP. The flag bearer hopeful of the NPP, Kennedy Japan, has urged the leadership of the NPP to focus on resolving the internal issues that caused the defeat in 2024 general elections. He said this must be done before electing a new flag bearer for the 2028 general elections. Kennedy Japan urges that without solving the problems, the party will not have any message for Ghanaians during the 2028 election period. Speaking to the constituency chairman of the NPP on Saturday, the former Asin Central lawmaker said, if you don't solve the problems, you can bring Jesus Christ as your presidential candidate. You will still not make it. Since all of us are here going to campaign, but what message are you going to convey? We don't know the causes of our defeat. So, I am of the opinion that we solve all these internal issues before we rush to go and select a presidential candidate. The former Assin Central lawmaker said, if you don't solve the problems, you can bring Jesus Christ as your presidential candidate. You will still not make it. Yeah, so this is coming from Kennedy, Japan. Wow. He came up boldly to say that we need to solve our internal issues. And if you don't solve your internal issues, what are you going to tell Ghanaians? There's still going to be divisions in the party. And it looks like this comment didn't really go down well for some people. He said, if you like, you can bring Jesus Christ if you don't solve the root of the problem. Because it actually looked like they still don't know why they lost the election. And I think already we've seen in the news that Dr. Baumia has already been elected as the flag bearer. Already. A channel.
60% of the MPs.
60% of the MPs have already endorsed him to be the NPP flag bearer.
Fear delegates.
Yeah. So trust delegates at your own risk.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that is coming from Kennedy, Japan. He said, we need to sort out our own issues before we go ahead to do what we have to do. Or else, if we don't, what are we going to tell Ghanaians? And I think this was evidenced during the thank you tour Dr. Baumia organized. It looked as if there were still issues. People were stabbing each other. People were having issues. You get it? So in a way, if you don't sort out your issue, what message do you have for Ghanaians? Miss Debbie?
Well, this issue, I didn't want to talk about it though, but let me say something.
Something small.
Let me say something.
Before we go on to the press release that we
It's quite surprising that as it stands now, the new patriotic parties still don't know. I mean, they can't realize their problem. And it's like they don't know what's led to their defeat.
But you know their problem.
Oh yes.
Oh, what's their problem?
I know their problem.
Because they themselves, they don't know their problem.
They don't know their problem.
Okay.
They don't know their problem. You see, they tend to focus more on themselves than the people. Because see, you've lost election.
Right.
And you said you went down to do your survey. So the survey you did, what did you gather at the end of the day? Were you able to speak to all Ghanaians? Okay, what are they saying? What are we going to do? And we all know what led to the defeat of the New Patriotic Party. One, they were not a listening government or administration. They do things prior to what they like. And yesterday, I saw something on social media. People were hailing Dr. Baumia and some, presidential aspirants of the New Patriotic Party. And with the case of them also saying that they are coming to rescue Ghana. And then where Ghana has gotten to, we are sinking. And then I saw comments where people were like, these people, do they really read comments like and a post like this to see what Ghanaians feel about the whole party or the whole individuals in the party? So you see, there is, as it stands now, there is this unity in the party. Why am I saying that? You can actually tell from the speech of all the presidential aspirants. And you see, so long as you have a campaign team, this person have a campaign team, yes, you are all from the same party. But although you are all contesting for the same position, doesn't mean that there should be hatred. If you hear the speech of Baumia, you could feel an iota of hatred for someone. If you hear the speech of Kennedy Japan, you could feel the hatred for someone. And there is a letter that has been released that they are not going to allow them into Zongo communities.
Yes.
Because Kennedy Japan has speaking ill about concerning religion. And that they didn't vote for Baumia because he was a Muslim. The casting.
So you think that
it doesn't make sense?
The statement he made was actually baseless?
No, I think Kennedy Japan. I read the news here. Kennedy Japan didn't mention that Dr. Baumia because you are a Muslim. No,
he just made a statement.
He just made a statement.
Right.
So why will you come out? I can even send a video to you to listen. He just made like a normal statement.
What was the statement?
He didn't really say that, because he said people are saying that they didn't vote for some kind of people because based on religion.
Religion.
But Ghana is made up of two religions. That has to do the Christian and then the Muslim. But even with that, we still have people who voted for who they like. Until we know which part did he state. Well, maybe he made that in another statement. But the video I saw, he didn't specify that Mr. Baumia, because you're a Muslim, they didn't vote for you. No.
Maybe obviously, let's not assume, but obviously he was referring to.
But you feel like you have a banter with him. That's why you are making such claims. But no.
Well, there has been a press release from the Zongo youth movement, and it said, "Don't take your campaign to any Muslim or Zongo community. Muslim group warns Kennedy, Japan." I don't know if you've seen the press release, Miss Regina. Yeah, have you seen that press release? Yeah. I think this is due to the fact that he made that statement. Now they are banning him from taking, his campaign to any Muslim community. So in the latter part of the press release, it reads, "We therefore warn Honorable Kennedy Japan and his team not to enter any mosques, Muslim or Zongo community with his campaign. He should stay away from all Muslim or Zongo activities and do his campaign elsewhere. We are by this release calling on all Muslims and Zongo communities to refuse him entry into any mosques, social gatherings, or get anywhere closer to any forms of Muslim or Zongo activities with his campaign. We call on Honorable Kennedy to unreservedly apologize for his comments of his team member and must well instruct Dr. Stephen Amwa to also apologize without any strings attached." Yeah. So he has been banned unless he apologizes. Miss Regina, what do you make of that? They said they are shocked and disappointed by recent comments made by Honorable Kennedy, Japan's team member, in the person of Dr. Stephen Amwa, Member of Parliament, suggesting that Ghanaians voted against the NPP in the 2024 elections due to Dr. Baumia's Islamic faith, and that Ghanaians hardly vote for Muslims. In a way, indirectly, he's, telling the Islamic community that you people don't even support your own. In actual sense, that is what he's saying. That the Muslims didn't even vote for Baumia. But this statement doesn't call for a ban.
I've not seen any video or I've not heard any news in regards to what they are saying, so I can't talk much on it.
That.
If truly Kennedy Japan really went ahead to categorically open his mouth to say,
so he wasn't the one that made that statement, but his team member, Dr. Stephen Amwa. Nyaso or something. Yeah.
Okay, so it still stands. I've not heard anything. I've not seen it. If you open the mouth categorically to say that Ghanaians did not vote for Baumia because he was a Muslim.
But coming to our leadership style, does it have to do with religion?
I don't even know. All I can say is what I know best is Ghanaians voted based on what we were going through.
Right,
we voted based on the hardship we were facing, the levies we were paying. That was why we voted these people out of power. And imagine if Baumia is competent. I'm not saying he's not competent, but if at that time he was competent and he had all the qualities and we're not facing anything, don't you think probably would have voted for him?
Well, maybe perhaps he had all the qualities, but for the fact that he was the vice president
and he was in power,
and people were actually going through the whole hardship and
so
all of that.
So how do you expect us to vote?
Right now you're going to give the whole steer to him?
No, some fire got him.
And with the 2024 election made me actually realize that people don't vote based on maybe ethnicity. Just like the way back then, if you're an Ewe, automatically you're an NDC person. If you are an Akan, automatically you are an NPP person. People are actually voting for comfort. you bring out your manifesto, and if they think, oh, this manifesto is actually going to help us, why not? We are going to give you the chance. But you were in power as the vice president, to the extent of you coming to even say that you were not in agreement with the e-levy, but still they still had to pass this. So I feel like this leadership style and you holding this whole presidency doesn't necessarily have to do with religion, but people are actually looking out for the policies you want to implement, and if it's going to help them, why not? They'll go in for it. But right now, the Zongo community has banned Kennedy Japan and his team member from going into any mosques or anywhere around the Muslim community to go and do their campaign, unless he comes to, apologize. Well, that'll be it. Do you have anything to say, Miss Regina, Miss Debbie? Yeah, so Kennedy Japan has been banned from any Muslim community unless he goes to apologize. All right, thank you so much for joining us on the news headline review. Up next, we have Debbie's Girl.
Good morning, and thank you for joining me on Debbie's Grill, where we talk about matters that concern the state, void of politics, fear, or favor. Now, Senior Pastor of Agape House New Testament Church, Reverend Richard Whitcomb, has stated that Ghana's greatest challenge is not political leadership, but the conduct of its citizens. So, delivering a sermon on Saturday 21st, he urged Ghanaians to pursue personal transformation rather than pinning all hope on political change. He emphasized that his message was not rooted in partisanship, making it clear that it holds a political affiliation. Don't cry about corruption in government when you run your business corruptly. Don't bemoan bribery in society when you pay and accept bribes in your business, he said. He concluded by affirming that national transformation begins with spiritual renewal and called on Christians to live according to God's word if they truly desire to see Ghana flourish. So this was from the Senior Pastor of Agape New House Testament Church. So he's actually saying that the greatest challenge we have is not about our political leadership, but the conduct of its citizens. Now, the politicians, they are also citizens, right? Because I believe it is the citizens that step up to become a politician. So as a normal citizen, you have the aim to become a politician one day, and then you started with bribe. It is the same people that steps up to become leaders of the state. And most of our politicians, 99% of them, they are Christians. But I must say that 99% of them are corrupt. They are corrupt officials. We have them in churches. We have some of them holding big positions in church, some of them being associate pastors, some of them being a PA to the pastor themselves, but they are corrupt. They are corrupt. Allegedly, Mr. Dubois, it was quoted that he is a leader in church. But look at the charges that was leveled against him. Even though, as it stands now, we don't know whether he's guilty or not until the court, proves him guilty. We are yet to know whether he's guilty. Although levels of corruption has been leveled or charged against him. So this is what we find ourselves in. Yes, it is true that you as a citizen, you have a role to play. Because as I said, corruption starts from even when you are a kid. We bribe teachers for results. Sometimes we even bribe people. We even bribe our own parents for money. They lie. Courses you don't study in school, you call them and then you take money from that. All those petty things are a step up to building your career in corruption. And that is what we see happening today. So he is saying that it's not the problem. Ghana as a whole country not moving forward is not a problem of leadership, but the citizen as well. In a way he's right, in a way he's wrong. Because it is the same citizens that steps up to become politicians. It is the same citizens that steps up to become the leaders of this nation. And so you start small, and then you become a leader and you can't hide it anymore. And then it grows up. It germinates and then it begins to bear fruit. And that is the main reason why we are suffering as a country. Because our leaders, they are corrupt. And our leaders, they are leaders, but they are also citizens of this country. Are they? Are they not? Yes, they are. The whole big positions in office by their citizens. They started from somewhere before getting to where they are. And sometimes we, the citizens, are also helping them to promote corruption. Recently, there have been reduction in fuel prices. Ask yourself, how many drivers have hit to this call? 0 out of 0. 0 out of 0. Some even take, they take more than what they are supposed to take. And then when you try to retaliate, it turns a different thing. And this is how it all starts. Even security personnel that are supposed to ensure that this sort of bribery and corruption minimizes in the country, they are promoting it. You be in a vehicle where the driver is supposed to stop, where the driver is supposed to pick passengers. They don't abide by it. But then you see a police officer there. Instead of the police officer to correct the driver, he takes something into his pocket and then it ends there. How do we expect to grow? So you see, when it has to do with corruption, we are all involved. From the leaders to the last person, we are all involved. And I don't know whether corruption is in our blood. I don't know whether we were born with it. For that, I can't tell. But you see, it is very painful when we keep preaching about corruption. We keep talking about corruption. But then instead of we minimizing it, it's like the more we talk about it, the more there is a rise in corruption-related cases. And then our leaders are allowed to go scot-free, just like that. And because they themselves are doing it, they cannot correct you. How will you feel if somebody sees himself to be a mentor, sees himself to be a leader, and the person is not doing the right thing, and then the person comes to stand in front of you advising you? What will you do? In your mind, you'll be like, why? Is he kidding? Because one, you're not doing the right thing. And if you're not doing the right thing, how do you advise someone to do the right thing? You can't advise the person to do the right thing because you yourself, you are not doing the right thing. You are at fault. And that is what is going on in this country. It is very funny and pity when I see some top officials talking about corruption. Whilst they themselves are endowed in corruption. In fact, they were bathed in corruption. And then you see them coming out talking about corruption-related cases, talking about a whole lot, how corruption is not helping us as a country. But and we expect to grow. It's very sad when they are ranging countries that are, involved in corruption, and then you see Ghana, where we are, and then we are happy. And then you see top officials speaking about it. And what they are speaking about, they are not even giving solutions. Solutions that we can use to stop corruption. No. They only come and talk about the point that they feel like it's okay to them. Where they talk about the side that will vindicate them and make it look as if we are at fault. But they are rather at fault. To stop corruption, we need to change our mindsets. The mentality we hold as Ghanaians, we need to change it. And see, we cannot stop corruption if people who are corrupted are allowed to go scot-free. No, there is no way we can stop corruption. No. We are just joking. We are not solving corruption. No. In Ghana, we are joking. In fact, we are jokes. Seriously. You can actually come out and bring out a data that does not exist. 188 people being paid. Then the money goes into your private account. And then we are hailing you, we are clapping for you. One by one, their cups will be full. And one by one, they will be prosecuted. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Grill.
Thank you so much, Miss Debbie, for that girl. When it comes to corruption, we all have a play. We all have a part to play, a play to part. Yeah, that's it. All right, Miss Regina, what do you have for us today in history? Today in history, I said we all have a part, a play to part. Yeah. Put that on calendar.
We all have a play to part. A part to play and a play to part. If it was me, okay, let me go on. Alright, so today in history, Governor Gotjesberg announcement in 1921 to increase African recruitment in government service. Governor Gotjesberg of the Gold Coast, now Ghana, announced plans to increase African recruitment in government service. This move aimed to provide more opportunities for Africans in the colonial administration, which had previously been dominated by Europeans. Gotjesberg's policy was part of a broader effort to promote indirect rule and Africanization of the civil service. He believed that by involving more Africans in the administration, the colonial government could better understand and address local needs. Title IX of the Education Amendment of 1972 was enacted in the United States. Title IX of the Education Amendments was enacted on this day. This legislation, signed into law by President Richard Nixon, prohibited sex discrimination in any education program or activity receiving federal funding, including in African nations, by setting a precedent for gender equality in education. On this day, John Gotti, infamously known as the Teflon Don, was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for his role as the boss of the Gambino crime family after being convicted of racketeering and murder charges. The conviction stemmed from his involvement in various criminal activities, including the murders of Paul, Castellano, and Thomas. Gotti's conviction marked a significant turning point in the Gambino family's history and his reign as the Teflon Don, which came to an end. Let's look at some observances. This day is observed as International Widows' Day. It is a united, ratified day of action to address the poverty and injustice faced by millions of widows and their dependents in many countries. The day takes place annually on this day. International Widows' Day was established by the Lombard Foundation to raise awareness of the issue of widowhood. To the most important observance for today, Let It Go Day. It is celebrated yearly or annually on this day, encouraging individuals to release negative emotions and move forward from past hurts. It is a day to embrace the concept of letting go. This could involve letting go of regrets, grudges, or anything else that is hindering personal growth and happiness. So whether it's being a broken heart from either your boyfriend, your husband, your sweetheart, your loved ones, let it go. If someone hurts you at your workplace, let it go. But before you let go, punch the person in the nose before you let go. Today is also observed as Public Service Day. It is celebrated annually on this day to recognize the value and virtue of public service to communities and development. It also acknowledges the work of public servants and encourages young people to pursue careers in the public sector. This day is also observed National Hydration Day. It is a day to raise awareness about the importance of staying hydrated, especially during the summer month when temperatures can rise. Proper hydration is crucial for overall health and well-being, impacting various bodily functions. To some few, did you know that it is impossible for most people to lick their own elbow? Yes, it is impossible to lick it. And lastly, did you know that it is physically impossible for pigs to look up into the sky because of their neck and spine anatomy? It restricts their ability to bend their heads backwards enough to see directly overhead. And that's all for today on Did You Know, and today in history and observances of the day, live on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Miss Regina Bless, for that fascinating fact. Yes, today is World Let It Go Day. Any hatred you have towards somebody, let it go, okay?
Yeah.
But they are saying that before you let it go, make sure that you punch the person in the nose. Well, I have issues with my producer,
so
I'm going to do exactly that before I let it go.
But it's not stated, though. I only added it too.
But
you
know,
see,
to let it out,
exactly.
you get it.
So you just punch the person in the nose.
To let
it's
it
very
out,
important.
I have to punch him in the nose. Because he has bullied me a lot. So today is
I know
let
you
it
want
go.
to add my name, so add my name.
Don't worry, I'll do that off air. All right, thank you so much for joining us this morning on a news headline review, Today in History and Debbie's Girl. This is the first segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Thank you so much for joining us. After this, we'll be going for the news. And right after the news, we'll be coming up with the second segment. Please stick and stay with us.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries,
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Good morning and welcome to the morning news broadcast live on GhanaTalks Radio. Coming up, the National Petroleum Authority assures adequate fuel reserves amid Israel-Iran conflict. In related news, minority warns of fuel crisis in the country. Ghana Water Limited takes firm action against water theft. Education Minister pledges support for public universities. Baumia warns the New Patriotic Party against ethnic and religious politics. These and many more coming up shortly in business, sports and showbiz. My name is Deborah Adoso. The National Petroleum Authority, Eduji Tamaklo, has assured Ghanaians of enough fuel reserves to last for 2 months. This assurance aims to alleviate concerns about the potential disruption to Ghana's fuel supply. The National Petroleum Authority assured of a sufficient buffer stock of fuel to mitigate short-term disruption, despite the ongoing conflict between Israel and Iran.
So I can assure the good people of Ghana that currently, as we speak, we have enough stock or reserve to last us beyond 2 months. Beyond 2 months. Yes. And with all efforts, we are confident that we wouldn't have any problem with supply disruptions at all. We have for petrol, that's almost over 200 million liters of petrol in the country. When you look at diesel, we have in excess of 150 million liters. So these are enough stock that can last the country for a long time.
On the back of that as well, the country, we have suspended the implementation of the new ESLA levy. What's the conversation around that? How soon is it going to be implemented?
As that is the Ministry of Finance and GRA, the tax collecting agency, have pointed out, government itself is monitoring global events and will respond in the next foreseeable days coming. We want to study what's the level of disruption that Israel-Iran. We are very confident that when all things are being equal, governments will announce to the good people of Ghana when the implementation will start. But there again, there will be enough consultation with the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, among others, before the rollout will come.
Does that suggest that you are using this period to broaden the consultation, as they were calling, even after the passing of it?
If you look, the people who raised concern had to do with the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors, and from the conversation and the general intervention from the Finance Minister, we were supposed to have been started on the 15th of June, but for the war. And now that we are monitoring events and hopeful that things may stabilize in the coming few days or months, we are confident that we will get it rolled out soon.
Do you agree with calls for its total repeal?
No.
That has been reiterated by the minority caucus.
I usually do not want to.
In related news, the minority led by the Deputy Ranking Member Collins Adomako is urging the government to take swift action to prevent a looming fuel crisis. According to the minority, the conflict has led to a surge in global oil prices, which could increase fuel costs in the country. Meanwhile, President John Dramani Mahama has instructed the Minister of Finance and Energy to monitor its potential impact on domestic petroleum pricing.
Unfortunately, each day there seems to be an escalation. Yesterday, watching this one, and I saw President Trump announcing that they've had some strikes in Iran. That really hits me because, as you know, Iran is an oil-producing country, and they produce quite significant amount of oil for the international markets. And just the announcement of the escalation, you all saw what happened to the crude prices. Overnight it went above $70. If it continues this way, we should expect it to go even higher. What is the implication of that to us, especially when we have to import almost all our finished product into the country? That is obviously going to have an effect on us. I mean, GMPC was very clear. They need a lot of investors. You know, yesterday they announced to us the Pecan field, where one Russian company was assisting in getting it done. Most of their financiers had to pull back because of the Russian-Ukraine war. Because the idea is that if you assist them, you are assisting the war. So they have a challenge, a big challenge, and it's going to affect all of us. We just pray that.
Moving on, Ghana Water Company Limited is taking a firm stance against illegal water connections in the Accra-Tema metropolis. The company has uncovered nearly 1,500 illegal connections across its 12 operational districts between the last quarter of 2024 and the first quarter of 2025. To curb revenue losses and support infrastructure expansion, the Ghana Water Limited plans to prosecute individuals and organizations involved in this illicit activities. The company aims to calculate and recover losses. Staff members found to have aided illegal connections will face legal action and possible dismissal.
So Mumwa Ghana Water Company. Is a view of Honoma, a bed pie, who say, Nipa Sumesi are now benten. And your boho no yusu. Name Oyusu eye Ghana Water Company nsuo. Enche bia eye na wotwe mu a yenya nentie se hotel bi no apartment bi a friend Adwa Wangara apartment e wo cantonments e ben so clinic. Omu yusu Ghana Water Company nsuo. And so for years me bankra ha chepa metende da se omu de omu yusu Water Company nsuo. For years, over 10 years, Omo used to know about Mutia Sempoa. If I only water bumpo, and she got chill. And Chabi answer Madina, a year baby, a flower power land, what they call go back on. Papa Binsu or Honomoa. On us were 3 lines, Bacope and a meter bosso. Benuna Candia, a free and all toma amount for our tanks. Sa tracks, yeah. Politians Google a tree, Amoye. I'm just a tanker driver scramble so Bekohaku Bunsu. Como hydrant, me no, e fear honomo. Almost your cocochion. In the Nocasemi, a idea illegal connection, a boy a papa. Millions of Ghana cities every month beyond you lose a illegal connection. In the Sabre, Accra East region, Yempenny, a friend, engineer Richard Apia Otu. What I didn't to a illegal connection for Sosa. The Ghana Water Company staff, I know you might need beer with him, so why illegal connection? Your man, your friend say, a quince bra. Why illegal connection? Branabeka amnesty. In Tubana amnesty, we can't quadia. You don't want a better near regularizes our connection. Ningine, illegal connection wo ho nti wo wonim so ye Ghana Water Company adwumayeni na why illegal connection no ka hunu say your days are numbered ona no kakra bi enche ye ba be tu so sa ene ye ba sa na se ubu ketem e be ma police fo acho e de ko gina court ye be you adin so asa ka ho to bi why illegal connection bia ene na ka hunu se sabri enche kra police fo ba ufie.
Minister of Education Haruna Idrisu has announced a significant boost to Ghana's highest education sector, pledging 40 million in seed funding for young public universities. This initiative aims to support these institutions in their growth and development to foster innovative and academic excellence.
Our proud graduates, this is my first congregation I'm attending since my assumption of office as minister. I should say that we are very proud of the and we will do what is needful to support you more. You are one such institution that is dedicated to training in technology and applied sciences. So, Mr. Vice Chancellor, as you were talking, I was flipping through my notes, and I'm happy to announce that this university, together with 3 other universities, will benefit from 10 million Ghana cedis grant. This year,
in politics, presidential hopeful for 2028, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia has warned members of the New Patriotic Party against engaging in tribal and religious politics. He emphasized that such tactics are divisive and dangerous for the party's unity and strength. He also stressed on the benefit of maintaining the party's long-standing tradition of unity and inclusiveness.
It is very, very important, therefore, that we don't allow people to come in with explanations that are not factual, that are made up, and that divide our party. We are a united party, encompassing people from all ethnic groups, all religions, and we are part of the elephant family. It is therefore very important that we do not allow people, for the sake of political advantage, to break us apart as a party. I'm saying this because recently people are going religious and tribal. People are going religious and tribal. That is dangerous for the New Patriotic Party. It's very dangerous for us if you go in that direction. What is clear and is stated in black and white in the Okwe report, as well as all the other studies, is that religion and tribe were not factors in the 2024 election results. They were not factors. They were not. We should not try to inject to say that Christians will not vote for Baumia. My 4.7 million votes were there only Muslims who voted. It's not possible. There were all.
Moving to business, the management of Tema Oil Refinery has revealed that the company's total debt stock reached 517 million as of December 2024, citing a combination of operational liabilities and government accounting adjustments as the main cause. Speaking to journalists after an appearance before Parliament Energy Committee, Tema Oil Refinery's acting managing director, Edmond Combat, explained a significant portion of the debt stemmed from the trade obligations and unpaid crude oil supplies over the years. He further disclosed that some grants initially extended by the Ministry of Finance had been reclassified as debt under the government ongoing agreement with the International Monetary Fund, a development that contributed to the surge in Tema Oil Refinery liabilities. Despite the financial burden, he assured that Tema Oil Refinery is working to restructure the debt and engage with stakeholders to clear the outstanding obligations. We are doing that verification, and as I mentioned, once we do that verification and authenticate what we have been able to bring down, that will be communicated publicly. So what occasioned a trade debt, sometimes third parties, and then there were also debts that are legacy debts where crude was supplied, it was not paid, he added. There were times that the Ministry of Finance in the past had given some funds to the tour. Some of it, for example, was grants. And then when they entered into the IMF asked them to reclassify it as debt. So those things have accumulated to the amount of money. And I think that the last time Tema Oil Refinery traded, some of the trade were not hedged, and so there was a lot of exposure, which led to a lot of debt ballooning. But we are here to make sure that it is stopped and is not repeated again, he added. The revelation comes amid renewed efforts to restore Tema Oil Refinery's operations. Earlier, management announced that the refinery is expected to resume full operations by October 2025, following a lengthy shutdown due to lack of crude. TOR has also initiated steps to revive its key production infrastructure, including the crude distillation unit and the residue fluid catalytic cracker, and move management hopes will significantly reduce Ghana's reliance on imported refined petroleum products. Still on business news, the management of Ghana Gas has identified overstaffing as a key contributor to its rising operational cost, with staff numbers growing from just over 250 in 2016 to more than 1,200 as of 2024. The concern was raised by the Chief Executive Officer, Judith Blade, during an appearance before Parliament Energy Committee on Friday, June 20th. At Ghana Gas, we are about 1,290 in number. This is the staff strength. I needed to establish that because I know that honorable members are interested in employment. So I needed to say this phrase, that Ghana Gas is seriously overstaffed, she told the committee. Blaine noted that a surge in personnel has significantly strained the company's financial resources. At the time in 2016, we were 250, and then between 2016 and now, Ghana Gas staff strength is over 1,200, she said. She emphasized that the company's core function is to maintain the gas processing plant and ensure a steady supply of gas for power generation, suggesting that staff beyond these essential needs as to cause pressures. Ghana Gas core mandate or core work is to maintain the plant and ensure we have gas to power, whilst highlighting Ghana's gas extensive corporate social responsibility efforts. Blaze stressed that streamlining internal operation is vital for efficiency. To sports, Black Queens head coach Kim Lass has stated that his team could have scored more goals in its win over Malawi. Ghana's national women's football team beat Malawi 3-1 in the first of 3 friendly games for the Black Queens ahead of this year's women's AFCON. Ahead of the tournament that is scheduled to run from July 5th to July 26th in Morocco, Ghana will play against fellow AFCON-bound teams in Botswana and Nigeria on June 25th and June 29th respectively. Speaking after the win, which is the first for Ghana in 4 games, she was pleased with the efforts of his team, but believed they could have scored more goals. The start was probably a bit slow, but otherwise we were better. We were a better team the whole game. We produced so many chances. We won the game 3-1, but if you are looking at the chances, we could have scored probably 6, 7 today, but the most important thing is to win. Ghana has been drawn in Group C alongside South Africa, Tanzania and Mali at the AFCON. Now, Accra Heart of Oak has been placed under a transfer ban by the Ghana Football Association following the club's failure to comply with the directive to pay 70,000 to New Edubiasi United FC. The ban, in accordance with Article 15, Clause 1C of the Ghana Football Association Disciplinary Code, came into effect after Heart of Oak missed the final deadline of 31st May to settle the amount. The payment stems from a decision by the Ghana Football Association Players Status Committee, which directed Heart of Oak to pay New Edubiasi 50,000 as an outstanding balance on the transfer of Salim Adams, plus an additional 20,000 representing 40% of an onward transfer fee. Despite earlier acknowledgement of the ruling and a meeting between the two clubs in March to amicably resolve the matter, Hearts of Oak failed to honor the agreed terms per New Edubiasi United. Hearts of Oak had asked Edubiasi to write off to the debt in the match because the expected outcome for the transfer of Salim Adams had gone bad. The Phobians was expected to make about $1 million from its transfer for Sinati, but unfortunately could not make the cut and had to return to the country. Prior to his departure, the club had agreed to pay New Edubiasi United $120,000, permanently signing the player, but paid $50,000. In the March meeting between the two clubs, Edubiasi had agreed to write off the debt between the business had gone wrong, but Heart of Oak are believed to have failed to adhere their side of the agreement, hence the club's insistence on receiving the outstanding $70,000. Consequently, GFA Disciplinary Committee, in ruling issued on 8th May 2025, fined the club $5,000 and gave it until the end of May to make full payment or risks facing sanction, including transfer bans. Pursuant to Article 15, Clause 1C of GFA Disciplinary Code, failing to pay amount stated in Decision 1 and 2 above, the club shall suffer a transfer ban, both domestic and international, until full payment of the amount should Accra Heart of Oak SC fail to comply with the Decision 1 and 2 on or before the deadline mentioned above. Now, in showbiz, Ghanaian actress and filmmaker Sinabafour has been appointed as Ghana's ambassador to the Kingdom of Spain by President John Dramani Mahama. Her appointment announced on 21st June and signed by the Secretary to the President, Callistus Mahama, is part of a list of 15 new diplomatic nominations. The appointments include ambassadors, high commissioners, and a consul general designate, who are expressed to represent Ghana's interests across various countries. Sina, one of Ghana's most respected actresses, brings decades of experience in film and public engagement to her new role. She is known for her role in films such as Out of Sight, Crossfire, Ties That Bind, and Trinity. Her screen presence and versatility have made her a household name in the late 1990s and early 2000s. She has also starred in a number of television dramas and stage plays, earning praise for her death and delivery. Sina has won several awards throughout her career, including honors at the Ghana Movie Awards and recognition for her contribution to the arts and entertainment sector. In 2021, she was celebrated at the Golden Movie Awards Africa for her enduring legacy in the industry. Beyond acting, Sina is also a producer and an advocate for women's empowerment and creative art development. She holds a diploma in theatre art from the University of Ghana, Legon, and has used her platform to champion issues related to education, youth development, and gender equality. The 58-year-old actress holds a master's degree in international relations and diplomacy from the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration. In 2021, she had her degree in public service and governance from the same institution. Her diplomatic appointment comes at a time where Ghana is seeking to deepen cultural, economic, and bilateral ties with European nations. Spain remains a key partner for Ghana's particularly in the areas of trade, tourism, renewable energy, and immigration management. Other notable appointments include businessman Benjamin Kwashi as High Commissioner to South Africa, former Kumasi Mayor Kojo Bonsu as Ambassador to China, and former Vice Chancellor of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Professor Kwesi Obiri-Danso as Ambassador to India. All appointees are expected to go through the required vetting and approval process before assuming their diplomatic responsibility. Sina adds to the growing list of creatives who have been appointed to various positions in President Mahama's government. Now, information or report reaching us from Ghana Meteorological Agency. Variably cloudy weather will predominantly be experienced the entire country this morning into the afternoon. However, pockets of intermittent slight to moderate rains are anticipated to affect some areas along the coast and forest belt in the early hours of the morning. As the day progresses, isolated thunderstorms are likely to affect parts of the country, especially during the late hours of the afternoon to the evening. Aflawu will be cloudy. Accra, Kaswa, Cape Coast, Takrady, Axim, Ho, Kofrodia, Akimoda, Kumasi, Obuasi, Takwa, Seshri Bekwai, Katakrachi, Kintampo, Gwoso, Sunyani, Techiman, Yendi, Tamale, Bole, Damongo, Bogatanga, Nalerigu, and while these are some communities or constituencies that will experience a cloudy or thunderstorm early this morning to the afternoon. And that is how we wrap up on the morning news broadcast on Ghana Talks Radio. My name is Deborah Adolso. As usual, don't forget to log on to all streaming platforms at GhanaTalksRadio.com, as well as logging on to www.GhanaTalksRadio.com for more detailed information. Do have a good morning.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide. I'm level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry bro. Our Ghana Talks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're gonna talk about our culture, our history. Matuni ding setete abako sem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say it. No artists go join me in the studio. We're gonna discuss about music and business. Konya, or you singer, and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go be spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our Ghana Talks Radio, and you say then our day. Me say download the Ghana Talks Radio app, no, our Play Store, any App Store. Not tune in, and say this is what you see. Baba live on Facebook, Cointakra, any Ghana Talks Radio page, and so now listen. About your fire, 1 year, Konya, Wading, Jajan.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adolso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
It's a beautiful Monday morning on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, where we serve you the best of the news in the capital of Ghana. My name is Pakwesi Omari, your regular host. In the studios with me this morning, I will be holding the discussions with the NDC's communications member, Mr. Ayamba Godwin, and Mr. Dati Dennis, who will be joining us in the studios very soon. Our phone lines are very active today. Today, I want you to be very active on our social media platforms as well. Get interactive with us. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X at Ghana Talks Radio. Our YouTube channel is very active. You can hop on there to watch the show very live there. Also, our WhatsApp line is 0202 544 0202 544 614 0202 544 614. Before we get into the conversations this morning, there is a rising issue that I want us to look at. The fight against Galamsey is all but failed. The fight against Galamsey is all but failed. And it saddens my heart that our leaders has consistently taken our leniency for granted. It saddens my heart that the same people that we vote into power to serve us, to serve to the interest of the nation at large, keep on exhibiting characters that serve their own purpose and self-interest. We've been here as a people in this country when we all cried loudly against Galamsey, which we all know as illegal mining, which gave some political parties there the platform, the leverage to use as a campaign message against their opponents in elections. We saw it in 2015 when the NPP used Galamsey, the then flag bearer of the party, Nana Addo Dankwa-Akufo-Addo, our just left office president, put his presidency online to fight illegal mining in Ghana. He came to power 8 years, and we saw it grow to become worse. In 2024, we saw the NDC leverage on that. We saw the flag bearer, President John Dramani Mahama, now going from region to region, platform to platform, stating how he is going to combat Galamsey. His communicators on platforms, Galamsey can be ended in a week, 2 weeks, blah, blah. Fast forward, they assume power. Keep on giving us promises. One of the major issues we have, the challenge we have with Galamsey, is the legislative instrument, the LI 2464, the 2464, 2462, which gives permission for people to mine in our reserves, our forest reserves, some water, but like this LI has become one of the biggest challenges that we've all sought to revoke it from our constitution. The president promised to revoke this LI if he assumes power. We give him power, he tells us it is going to be revoked. 6 months on the line. And now we hear the LI has rather been amended. The LI that gives people the permission to mine has been amended. To what? Look at how people are suffering. People can't have clean waters to survive on. We've seen pregnant women give birth to deformed babies as a result of illegal mining. And you give us promises, you come to power, and you fail us woefully. We don't care whatever goodwill you think you have for Ghanaians, how you've dropped the dollar, how you've done what and what. None of these things can be substituted for the life of a human being. None. We can have a dollar, 1 peso to $1, and it will still not be enough to compensate for a person's life. And what we are dealing with Galamsey is a death threat. See, even in wars between countries, there are laws that bind a country to attack the water bodies of their opponents. And here we are, our own selves, killing our own selves. Something that a government has all the instruments to combat. Today, we are told they need time. Today, we are told now they are amending something that needs to be revoked and repealed. Is that the promise you gave to us? Is that it? We are setting up gold board and we will do this and that. And we will find a way to blah, blah, blah. Sami Jenfi, you are at gold board now. This same gold, which is going to fill your coffers to do whatever you think you can do right to support this country, it is killing some other people. And the airline now mo be repeal, mo be revoking, and now mo amending. For what? What does it take for a president, lance minister? We saw you crying. What such as say, one more day won't be done to soon. And today is the result. More by amending. I don't care. We don't care whatever explanation or definition you give to this amendment. Revoke the LI. Revoke it. You can't have any other way around it. Just say the interest of the people is no more at bay to our leaders. Why should it always be so? When you are in opposition, you know all the right things to do. You have all the right things to convince us to bring you to power. And when you assume power, you do the opposite of whatever you said in opposition. The NDC is not the same as the NPP. You are the same. You all are selfish and greedy. You are all selfish and greedy. For your own political ambitions, for your own selfish interest, you are leaving the country at bay to this cancerous disease of illegal mining. Now we don't hear Sam George talking about Galamsey. We don't hear Sami Jenfi speaking about Galamsey. You are just beating around the bush. Look, the lance minister, hey, Mr. Amakofibua, you were crying. You were shedding tears. Because Wuntumi has mined in areas that he has destroyed our water bodies, blah blah. The same LI which gives people that permission to mine there, it has come to time for you to revoke it. You say you are amending it. What was the essence of that pretentious cry you were crying on TV that day? What's the essence of it? You have failed us as a people. The Ghanaian people voted massively. Look at the resounding votes, the resounding victory Ghanaians gave to you people. At the back of corruption and at the back of illegal mining. These are the two main reasons why Ghanaians voted massively for you. And today, instead of you to do the right thing, you are looking at amending the airline. To suit what? What better way is there rather than revoking the airline, which gives people the permission to mine? Why are we so selfish and greedy as leaders? Why? What will it take for us? What will it take from us as leaders to do what will serve the interest of the people and not the interest of you and your parties? Where did we go wrong as a people? What is our case? Now you don't hear anyone speaking of Galamsey. You think the dollar is more precious than human life? You think reducing transportation fares is more precious than human life? Go to places. Moten crime, when yesika, motivating, motumi to nsu a mopena monom. Kwahwe ebinum. The only surviving water body they have, it is destroyed. It is destroyed. You are mending the airline. Yati. Yadamasi. Say yema ye ho kwan na mo dada yen. NDC. Yadamasi President Mahama. We allowed ourselves. We allowed ourselves for you to lie to us in the fight against Galamsey. Yadawasi. Na da ponche ni bete no. Agro no ebesi. I'll end here. We will come back to this again. We will definitely come back to this fight again. We are not ending now. But I'll end here today. Gode. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you.
Baby Aboko, dear.
I don't know. Baby Aboko.
I know you are not happy. I don't expect you to be happy.
I'm not paying that, so we hit yes.
You know, your party is failing us. Should I say it failed or it has failed us? Whatever you people are doing now can never be substituted for human lives. That's what I want the NDC to understand. Adia Galamsey eye nkrofo no masa. Yenya ne fuo. Ana yetin kran. Ne yetumi nya nsuo mum. Yetumi nya bi edi dware, yetumi ye aduane di. Aden.
But PK, you see, let me say a big good morning to your viewers and then your listeners, and then a good morning to your team members here. Let me use your platform to say good morning to the President John Dramani Mahama, and the Vice President, Professor Jinano Pokwajman. And also, let me greet all national executives, right from the top, our Chairman, Johnson Asiedun Ketia, to the grassroots, every grassroots member. But, PK, you see, I understand your frustration this morning, and then I would react the same way like you are doing this morning.
because whoever is protecting our forests is protecting life. Whoever is protecting our forest is protecting water, and we know that water is life, and so we can't joke with life. But again, you see, this LI, we will still have to give the NDC or President Mahama time to really deal with this LI. But the most important thing is how Galamsey or how mining is being dealt with now. Because aside the LI, we can repeal the LI today, and then there is no enforcement. What of that? But you see, PK,
I'm coming. I get your point. But see, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with what?
Yeah.
The first step is to repeal the LI. Afterwards, we know what to do. We can't stop people from mining in the forest whilst legitimately there is a law backing them to do that. But I don't know if you are getting me.
BK, I get you. But you see, the president countless number of times have said that, look, nobody can mine in a forest reserve.
Whilst there is a law.
Look, you see, PK, there is a law. But what I'm saying is, who is giving a permit for you to mine in the forest reserve? Because the president has said that nobody can mine in the forest reserve. So there is something coming from the president himself.
I don't know the same president who said he's going to revoke that LI.
PK, you see, we have to give the president some benefits.
How?
Look, you see, it's this thing I really think that it needs time to be dealt with.
How? I want to understand that time it needs. To do what?
PK, this is legislation we are talking about. Yes, and you see, it just can't happen out of the blue like that. So I think that if we are in the second year or maybe close to the first year, and then President Mahama has said nothing or has not dealt with this, that is when we should.
I am shocked.
You see, you shouldn't be shocked.
I am very
shocked. What is important?
We should give the president a year or two.
PK, what is important?
Whilst they have 183 MPs in parliament.
You see, relax. What is important is you see, you are not telling the people of Ghana what President Mahama is doing to combat Galamsey.
What is he doing?
You understand?
I want to know.
So far,
what is he doing?
PK, are you telling me so far there has been anybody giving license to mine?
So that's all. We should
no. You see, we are not saying that's all, but you see, we are putting measures in place. We are putting processes in place so that we wouldn't have people mining in our forest reserve.
What measures are that?
Because that is one that I just told you about. President has come out to say that look, nobody is allowed. You see, there is even more than even repealing the LI.
You think so?
Yes. President has stated it clear.
So you believe that the words of a president is more powerful than our constitution?
I'm not saying it's more powerful than our constitution, but you see, it is a process, and then we should allow the president go through that process. To me, that is what I think is happening. We should allow
in April. Did you listen to when did Parliament go on recess? When Parliament took a break. When did that happen? It happened in April, right? Before they went, before they left on that break, Sami Jemfi came and stated categorically that once they resume in Parliament, it will be revoked, not dealt with. It will be revoked. Whilst they were on that break, Minister for Communications at the presidency, Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, came to say that when they resume, that LI will be revoked. And you are telling me that we need a year or two. Gode,
PK.
We are fortunate to be here. that we can have access to clean water to survive on.
So I'm also asking you. So what if the LI is revoked and there are still recalcitrant people mining in the
Let's revoke the LI first. You said you would do it. Do it for us to see that you really mean this fight.
So it's just the LI.
It's not about just the LI. The LI is what gives the platform for one, state of emergency. Two, any other way you can use to combat them. Once they have the backing of the law, do you know how difficult it makes it for the state to fight them? Do you know? Every country is ruled and governed by the laws of the country.
I understand that fact, but because I think President Mahama still needs some time to.
I don't agree to that. I will never subscribe to that.
To deal with this.
If the president was sitting before me right now, I will tell him to his face, he has failed us. We gave him that resounding victory at the back of this illegal mining fight. And we expect him to go by his words. As a president, as a listening president, as you people so call him.
But PK, amending the law doesn't mean it can be repealed, right? So are you saying because it has been amended, that is all, it can be repealed again? Amending the law doesn't mean it can be repealed.
Gracious God.
Yes, because so you shouldn't.
Gracious God.
You shouldn't be so much worried about this.
Gracious God.
You see, what you should be worried about is President Mahama or is the Mineral Commission still giving the license to people?
I am not worried about any of that. I am worried about the fact that a president and his minister will stand before an entire nation, give us his word that he is going to revoke an ally that permits people to mine in our water and forest reserves, and then he makes a U-turn. That's a whole different thing to what he said.
Has not made a U-turn. If you see,
he has.
If President Mahama has given a specific timeline that between this period and this period, I'll make sure I revoke the LI.
Who speaks for the president?
No,
Who speaks for the president?
I'm saying that.
Who speaks for the today? As you are here right now, do you know that as you are here right now, whatever you are communicating today, you are communicating it in the stance of the president.
I know
he can't be here. That's why you are here.
I understand. But I'm saying that if President Mahama has given a timeline to repeal this LI, I mean, you can come out and then chastise him. But President Mahama didn't give a timeline to repeal this.
So that's what we should go by now.
We are not, you see, what you don't understand is how the president is trying to deal with Galamsey.
Trying.
You see, you are not acknowledging the fact that President Mahama is doing everything possible.
There is not a single thing, and I will state this as a journalist, there is not a single thing the NDC is doing now against the fight on Galamsey that the NPP didn't do. Not a single thing.
So are you saying,
how are we still here?
Are you saying it's worse than before?
Is it any better?
No, I say it's worse than before.
Is it any better?
It's better than before.
How?
Trust me, it's better than before.
The biggest problem we are even having now is the stance of the NDC equalizing it with how the NPP. We voted the NPP out. We don't want to hear anything about the NPP didn't do this, the NPP didn't do that. You are in power now. What is stopping you from doing what the NPP couldn't do? Because if you are also going the same trend by thinking yours is minimized, oh, come on. Then we should have just kept the NPP and begged them to minimize it.
PK, at the end, we will know which party or which government really fought Galamsey.
We are not looking for any. The end of this fight, the end, is that all of us we are going to have a generation after us with deformed human beings. That is the end of this. That is the end of this.
You're not making me make my. You're not letting me make my point on this issue.
No, you've made all your points. One of your points is that the president needs time. One is that we can amend it and later on revoke it. Like, no, what?
So you think the president should, Parliament should just revoke or repeal this like straight away? That's what
Let me
Ghanaians
ask
are
you
calling
something.
for. That's what Ghanaians are calling for.
Is that not it? Is that not what Ghanaians?
Okay, that
In
is what
fact,
we-
is that not what your party promised Ghanaians? You just answer me, yes or no.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. But you see, you are still not getting the fact that we still have time to deal with this LI issue.
So let me give you this. That's the problem we have. You have time. The NDC has time. They have 4 years in power. They have time. But the people as Esuano, the people at Tetiwa, they don't have time. They are dying today. They died yesterday, and they are going to die tomorrow out of the consequences of Galamsey.
So, BK,
and these people, they pay taxes.
Yeah.
The leaders, the president, is paid by the taxes of these people. And yet they don't have time. But we should accept the fact that the president should have time. Sit in his comfort. Be served breakfast. Have vortic water to drink.
But PK, why are you not talking about what the minister is doing, what the IGP is doing, what the militaries are even doing to deal with Galamsey? You are only focusing on the LI.
Let me tell you something. I'm for Wasembi. This is a crew too. Now what there one. A crew a pro. So when me a crew nankasa now what there one. Chrono pro. Now yes, easy excavators. Yes, tell me. Say NPP in power, they didn't seize excavators.
After seizing the excavator, what happened?
The same question to you after seizing it, what happens?
The excavators still got their way into the forest, right?
What you are not getting is this. You have woefully failed us.
Because we've not.
When I come to power, I'll grant amnesty to the young boys in the community who are only doing it to survive and arrest the kingpins. 6 months in power. How many arrests have you made? Over 400 people arrested. How many kingpins are part of that 400? How many kingpins? Yet we know those kingpins.
Because I still stand by what I'm saying.
And I also still stand by what Ghanaians are saying.
President Mahama.
I also stand by Ghanaians.
Parliament will deal with this issue at the right time.
At the right,
I know it's a process, and I think it will be dealt with at the appropriate time. So let's just keep finger crossed and then see what happens. Right. I understand you. I understand. Your frustration this morning, but I believe in President Mahama. I believe in the NDC. I believe in Parliament as well, that they will do justice to this LI at the appropriate time. Yeah. So please don't be worried. Don't be worried at all. We'll be very fine. I'm not. You see, I'm not so much. For me, I'm not. I'm very concerned about how the party or how President Mahama is day in and day out dealing or combating this whole issue. I think that is more important than the LI to me.
That's what you think?
Yeah, I think that is more important than the LI.
Okay.
Because we can just repeal the LI and then nothing will happen again. People will still be recalcitrant and then move into the forest.
Okay.
Yeah. But since the president has declared that nobody can mine in the forest, I think it's good for a start. It's good for a start. Yeah.
So ever since he said that, you haven't seen news, you haven't seen reports of people still mining in the forest.
But PK,
no, I'm only asking a question. I'm asking a question.
PK,
you haven't you seen it?
PK, we've seen it.
You've seen it.
But you see, the LI can still be repealed, and we will have people in the forest mining. But you see, the most important thing I'm telling you is, how are those issues dealt with? Even though there are laws backing that you can mine in the forest, are people mining in the forest it's not legal to mine in the forest again. It is not. You understand? Even if there is a law backing that, the president has made it clear that nobody should mine in the forest. Nobody can mine in the forest. So this alone is good for the start. You understand? So I beg you, let's look at
Ghanaians are watching
the genesis of this whole story and then not jump into repeal.
All I can
Yes, we
say
can
is
repeal
that
and then nothing will happen again. We can repeal, we will still have people in the forest doing what they are doing.
all I can say is that Ghanaians are watching, and we still have our voting powers. 2028.
Yeah, I know 2028 Ghanaians will still vote for the NDC because of
Okay, we are here.
How things will be dealt with, how things
We
will
are
be
here.
done.
We will be here.
So the good people of Ghana will compare the two.
We will be here.
By 2028, will compare the two.
We will be here.
Yeah.
We'll be here.
Even if at then the LI is not repealed, we will still know how Galamsey was dealt with and how our water bodies and our forests have become. So I know that it will still go in our favor. So don't worry. Just stay calm. We are working.
Let's get into the conversations for the day. We all know that the entire development of a country, the state hierarchy of governance begins from districts, municipalities, and all that. And so if the districts are not stabilized, we can say that the foundations of the state development is unstabilized. Not so long ago, we listened to the president who announced that not less than 25 million Ghana cedis will be allocated to every district in the year 2025 for their developments. How far can this take us to as a country? In what measures do you think these funds can be utilized to make sure it bears the fruit of which it is intended for?
Yeah, PK, thank you once again. And then this move was announced first when the president was in opposition. When the president was the opposition leader by then, campaigning to be the president of the country. And that is pure decentralization.
Okay.
That is something that I'm really very happy about. And I think the whole of Ghana, everybody is very, very happy about this. In fact, the finance minister on third in parliament also made this statement again, that every district assembly will have a minimum of 25 million Ghana cedis to drive economic development and deepen decentralization. So this is something that I think is good. Again, the president commented or lamented on this issue on June 18th, when or during the orientation of the MMDC program. So it is something that I think the party or the government is really, really much, if you like, really much, very, very, I could say, paying attention to. It's not something where it's just promising and then leaving it as it is. It is something which the president really wants it to happen. And that is why it is out now and even factored in our budget, our 2025 budget. I'm not the only person who thinks that this thing is highly recommended, but the people on the ground are also saying it themselves.
Okay.
That it is good that we decentralize the government, everything wouldn't just be at the top, but rather come to the down, because the people at the bottom really need development. And so if this initiative comes out, I think it's very good, and then we should commend the president. You see, PK, what we don't know is the district assemblies are responsible for our local development. I say this because every district chief executive represents the president.
Okay.
And everything that the president intends to do for the assembly or the district, it has to go through the district chief executive. You understand me?
Yeah.
And so if the president is giving that mandate to the assemblies, I think it's really recommendable, because you don't expect that presidents should issue say a statement that, look, let's fix the street lights in this district. President might not know it all, might not have all the information within the country. So if the district assemblies are given the mandate to perform all this, there are a lot of things which are just petty stuffs. Like, I mean, roads, we talk of chip compounds, we talk of the bridges, traffic light, like I mentioned, and other things, schools. All those things are things that can be handled by the assembly. And you see, this I really love this, because every assembly will have to focus on his or her district. So if this assembly A is focusing on his district, they are the people there. They want development. So everything they will do possible to keep their district or assembly developed, they will do it. Just like the other places too. But if it is centralized on only the central government, the government or the central government's intention is to develop the whole country. So where does the government start from? So that will be a problem. But if everybody is given the mandate to deal with his own district, I think it will really help. And we should really commend the president and then the finance minister for bringing this initiative, and then not only it being a promise, it is something that is factored in the budget. It is something that the president has stated clear. The minister have also come out that, look, every district is given or has even been paid 25 million Ghana cedis to deal with all this small development to help the people in the districts.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. We'll come back to that, but we have Dennis joining us on the conversation. So, Dennis, good morning.
Good morning.
I hope everything is fine.
Everything is fine.
Okay.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I would like to take this opportunity and apologize on behalf of my listeners and viewers. I mean, the traffic situation is terrible, so I would plead that they pardon me, and I will do better going forward. So, yeah.
The president has promised us some 25 million Ghana cedis to district assemblies for their developmental. This comes as in a form of decentralization of state budget and all that. What do you make of this? How far do you think this can take us to? How far do you think this can propel us? Because if we look at the state hierarchy of our development as a country, it begins from the districts or the municipalities, constituencies, then to regional, then to national. So with this starting from the base, what does this speak to us as a people and in regards to our development as a country?
Okay, thank you once again for this opportunity. I mean, Ghana currently, if my memory serves me right, I think we have about 261 districts, and allocating 25 million cedis to each district. I mean, it's huge. And first of all, I would like to commend His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama for this initiative.
Sure.
I mean, one key thing that is hampering our development, which we haven't taken a clearer look at is filth. Filth.
Okay.
I mean, every district you go to, it seems it is engulfed with so much filth. So much filth. I mean, even in our capital city, there's absolutely nothing to write about in terms of cleanliness. So I hope that we start from there.
Okay.
I mean cleanliness. I mean, when you clean your sitting and it's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you would easily identify the problems in it. So first, I hope that the chunk of the budget. I mean, that's the problem we are facing now.
Okay.
I mean, maybe 20% of the budget to go solely into addressing the issue of filth in the district. And second on the table is our roads. We all know our roads. So our roads, I mean, and with the drip machines.
Yeah.
I mean,
now available.
So it means so much money wouldn't go into purchasing any sort of equipment. To do
Government
with
already have equipment.
Yes. So straight away just
manpower that we need.
Straight away just our sources gets credible people to take care of our roads. I mean, some of our roads doesn't even need so much investment. At least just on the surface, just scrape it and make sure it is motorable. Understand? I mean, this, I don't know. I've gone into our records and it seems in the Fourth Republic there hasn't been such huge allocation. Yeah, this is first of its kind.
Sure.
And I just hope it works. I hope it works.
Okay.
And I hope it works. I mean, because we don't have time. I would love to delve deeper into other things.
No, you can share a little bit of what you want to share.
Yes, and our district market too. There's we problems of space. You understand? At least for expansion. I mean, I know of the Tema district.
Yeah.
I mean, there are lands. There seems to be lands, but no finances to expand the market.
Okay.
So at least this should go into our markets, our district markets as well.
Okay.
At least it seems to me that every district have some sort of
market issues.
No, every district seems to have a centralized market system where they all shop from.
Sure.
So some funds should also go there to take care of our market. It's just very, very important.
Okay.
But the most important is filth. The filth and our roads.
Okay.
This is huge. I mean, I think
25 million.
25 million can go a long way.
Yeah.
Go a long way.
Okay.
Go a long way.
Okay, thank you. But Gode, in respect to what Dennis just mentioned, where are some of the areas you think we should be looking at in our district development that most of this money should be outsourced in addressing?
Yeah, Piki, once again, let me welcome my brother. What is important here that we need to also notice, apart from the minister stating it that 25 million will be allocated to all the districts, he has also made it clear that monetization, okay, there is going to be strict monitoring, especially on what the monies are used for.
Okay.
So it's not just payments, allocating the money, and that is all.
Okay.
So there's something we should commend him as well.
Okay.
And then we will hope that they do as they say.
Sure.
So that this monies wouldn't end up being or entering into people's pockets.
Yeah.
And then which possibly the district wouldn't benefit from.
Okay.
Now let's look at some of the breakdowns of the allocation of the 25 million in every district. They are saying that 25% will be used for construction and designing of model markets, like my brother rightfully said, that it should go into some sectors of our market. And then 10% for at least 2 chip compounds. You know, for a fact that sometimes in our district levels, I mean, getting access to hospitals are mostly in the main towns. So with this local district, I mean, those small villages, and building a chip compound would serve the people right. And also 10% for educational infrastructures, like the KG, like the primary blocks, like the GHS blocks, some of the districts, you go to a village, they do not even have any block at all for school. Those who have wouldn't even serve the people right. You go there and then their school buildings, the roofing, sometimes there's no door, there's nothing. People go inside, out of, so it's really something that will also help. And again, 10% for potable water.
Okay.
You get it. So this is very good initiative that we need to again applaud, because PK, like I keep on saying, Accra is not just Ghana. There are a lot of people who are outside Accra. And then the votes, like we keep on saying, it drew election time. Ballot boxes are sent there. Ballot papers are sent there for them to vote. We try to remember them when it's time for voting. So I'm glad that President Mahama has brought this initiative so that they can also benefit from the national cake. And then 20% for also completing still legacy development projects. We know for a fact that as time goes on, every government comes to do his part. And then every government will want, or like we always say, will not want to continue the project of the previous government. But I'm glad President Mahama has made an allocation of 20% going to cater for all these still project that has not been completed. And last is 5% for administration and monitoring and evaluation. So it's clear that the monies, or the 25 million going to every district, has what it's supposed to do. And so if it has come out clear that this percentage is going for this, that percentage is going for this, I think it will really do a long way. It will really help in a very long way, so that we wouldn't end up channeling most of the money into one sector. That is when the corruption come in. You understand? If you are channeling a chunk of the money into just one sector, I think it's really breeds corruption. But when a percentage has been allocated for each sector, then it means every sector will have its own benefits. And for that matter, we need to be happy and glad that this has come true.
All right. Thank you there. Then is anything you would want to add, or we can just move on to?
I would like to touch on the chips compound allocation and basically for health. There are troubles with our healthcare system delivery in our various districts. One time I went to, I think is it Amasamang, or I don't know the name. Is it Ablikuma or in Sakina? I saw one of Mohammed's chips compound, and it was in a sorry state. And this is in the capital. So just imagine.
The villages.
The villages is trouble. So this allocation to chips compound and the facelifts of health facilities, it is also commendable. Generally the idea behind this is solid. It's commendable.
All right. So, okay, thank you. Moving on. It's another worrying issue. Unemployment. We all know how disastrous and cancerous it has become to our people. We still have people who graduated in the year 2013. They are still home. People who graduated in 2015, they are still home. And so whatever little job you get to do in this country, you just need to be grateful to it, because getting a job or finding a job here is one of the most difficult things to do or to achieve. And then we have governments coming, laying people off, bringing people on, blah blah. We've spoken about it here and there. Governments use it when in opposition to campaign against their opponents. Then they come to power, they repeat the same cycle. I don't know much. I don't want to say much about it. As Godwin is already here, I would expect that as his party is laying off some people from the Bank of Ghana, he can give us a reasonable justification to that. Because yes, some people have been laid off.
Yes, okay, it's true that some people have been laid off, and then it is unfortunate, but I know that it's not just happening because of politics, but it is something that is supposed to happen because this is not the first time, and it is not news. It is not something which we should be crying about, because even in the private sector, these things happen.
Okay.
You understand? But I don't want to make it politicized. I don't want to politicize it.
Okay.
By saying that, look, the previous government employed a lot of people during the end of tenure in office. I don't want to talk about that. I just want to be nationalistic.
Okay.
So in every institution there are rules and regulations. There are rules, that's laws that governs the institution. And this 100+ people, I learned and I'm told that not all of them have been laid off. In fact, half of them or more than half of them are still working, but the rest of them did not have their appointments approved because, or given to them because they didn't meet the right criteria to be in that position. And then they were on probation, not that they were fully employed.
Okay.
They were on probation, and then we all know that being on probation doesn't guarantee you permanent to be employed in an institution.
Okay.
So it is a 50-50 something. If you're on probation, you can be laid off or you can be hired.
Okay.
And I think those who fit or those who merit to be hired and be given the appointment letters has been given. And those who think that those who the management or the human resource department thinks that these people have to go and then work on themselves has also been given a letter in respect to that. So it's very unfortunate, like I'm saying. It's really very hurting if you are done with school and then for a whole number of years you are home without working. It's really worrying, and then I wouldn't be happy. I'm not really happy when it comes to this issue, because it might be my brother, it might be my sister.
Okay.
Even if not my brother or my sister, they are still Ghanaians, and they will have to benefit from work, because that is the purpose of we going to school and then we embarking on an educational journey.
Okay.
And so we shouldn't politicize this. We should only let them know that this has come as a result of they not meeting the criteria for the job, and then we hope that they will lay their hands on and other sectors to show their abilities or their so yeah, PK. So that is all that I have to say. Yeah, like I said, I don't want to do politics on this whole issue. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's hope that they find themselves other jobs to do.
All right. Dennis, government has laid off some 100 and something people from the Bank of Ghana. We just listened to government communication team member say that it's at the back of them not meeting the criteria. In one stance, I mean, because they were employed later in the administration of the SWAL government, so it makes us suspicious. In another hand, or in another breath, they didn't meet the criteria based on their probational exercise and all that. What do you make of this whole thing? Do you think this is politicized? Do you think this is something of a retaliation as to what has happened before, which is the precedent? Or you think this is a valid justification by the current government?
Okay, thank you once again. Okay, in this country, I mean, unemployment is a major challenge.
Yeah.
You know, and in as much as unemployment is a major challenge, incompetence is also a major challenge in our public sector.
Okay.
The fact that there's unemployment doesn't mean we should throw anyone anywhere because we think we want to get them employed. You understand? The Earthwell administration, the fact that you are exiting and you want your people in some strategic sectors to later on be passing information to you doesn't mean that you should I mean we all know, let's not turn a blind eye, and I'm not being political here, because always being here I take the middle side. You understand? What I'm saying is we have unemployment challenges, but it doesn't mean we should throw anyone who is not qualified to anywhere. I mean, Bank of Ghana, it's a critical state institution, and we shouldn't play with it. That because this guy is a party apparatchik, so let me throw him here and give him a job. No, it shouldn't work like that. You understand? And what they done is based. They did it through the books. They followed right procedures, and they believe they are not qualified, so they should be thrown out. It's unfortunate. It's sad, but it doesn't mean you are not because you are unemployed, and because you are unemployed, you don't meet the criteria, so you should be there. No, it shouldn't work like that. We all should have decent jobs to do, but it should be based on merit, not on party colors.
Okay.
I mean, it shouldn't. That's my take.
You see, most often, I believe that these things happen.
Do you know? Let me chip this in.
Okay.
If you regularly, consume state products, like maybe you visit state institutions for their services, that is when you know the challenge I'm talking about. There are so much vast incompetencies running through. I mean, almost all the state institutions that I have visited, and it's because of politicians wanting to just give people a job. I don't want to mention some of the names, but this is the problem we are having. I mean, yes, there's issue with unemployment, but the individual should be qualified. You understand? The individual should be qualified. It's not that you throw anyone anywhere. No. Please, I'm done. So,
Buddy, anything you want to add?
Yeah. So, like my brother said, it's true. When you visit some of, you see, PK, this is hard to find in a private institution. Like a lot of people who are not competent for the portfolio or position that they hold. But like he said, I mean, because of how politicians or how every government will want to suit its members, whether you are competent or you are not competent, whether you can do the work or you can't do the work, they just fix you there. And you see, that will also not help our various institutions, because at the end, it is these people who are to deliver. And so if they are not in that good capacity to deliver, then obviously you don't expect that the institution will work well. You understand me? So it's something that we should really pay much attention to. Like he said, it's not because we want to reduce unemployment, and so we just put anybody in any position or any portfolio at all. There can be other sectors where those people can also merit. So we should try and then make sure that people merit their respective positions or jobs, so that at the end all institutions will function properly, work effectively and efficiently. Yeah. So it's I really love his submission.
Okay. I was about to say something, but I think something that you just said partially addressed it. So, but
thank God I did.
It seems today I am on you.
Thank God I did. So that you.
but
don't
you
give
see,
me tough time.
Honestly, what is the main purpose of having someone on probation?
PK, I mean, having someone on probation, it's just to to determine if the person can truly work. That is the main purpose.
That's the main purpose.
Yeah, that's the main purpose.
So, if you put someone on probation for, let's say, 6 months, it's not about getting the person familiar to the job requirements, taking the person up to speed, but it's rather to assess, and if the person doesn't qualify you,
yes, obviously.
Then what's the main purpose of interview?
What's the main purpose of what?
Interview?
No, because by interview you just book.
See, because I believe that 6 months is such a period to get anyone up to speed in a field.
I mean, interview is just a rhetorical exchange.
Okay.
You understand? Okay, for the period of 6 months that you're on probation, probably you presented a set that you have a master's with the University of Ghana.
Yeah.
I mean, your employer needs to write to the University of Ghana, and it's not instant. You need to write to the public institutions or the schools that you attended for them to verify as to whether you are qualified, because they can't accept anyone there. Understand? They have to also do their background check, and I believe 6 months is enough. I mean, during the interview period, all those things cannot be carried out. Probably maybe you are an ex-convict. During the interview process, you wouldn't say that.
Sure.
So during your probation period, that is when they can dig deep and extract.
Because the main reason why I'm asking is, let's see, I'm being employed here by GhanaTalks Radio. Can you host a show? Yes, I can. Okay, let's have you on. I'm working here for, let's say, 6 months, and after the 6 months you tell me that, you know what, I don't think you qualify for the program, so we are laying you off. Goodbye. For 6 months. So during that 6 months period, 1 month, 2 months, you didn't realize that I wasn't qualified. Secondly, even if I wasn't, throughout the 6 months, you couldn't bring me up to speed. Because not being qualified, or meeting some criteria whatsoever, wouldn't be as, I don't know anything about it at all. Probably I'm doing it. Maybe there are some little tabs that I need to check, which it comes with experience. In every job, we all learn on the job. No matter how qualified you think the grades you had in school. Yeah, we learn on the job. So we leave these people for 6 months, probably thinking, Charlie, because during that time they had other opportunities, they could have. I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, you are.
And we engage them all along. And then out of the blues, we come to lay them off that, if you're not meeting some criteria, so go and find another. It's just fair. That's why people actually believe that this is a political gimmick. This is a political game. Because in actual sense, if you are not going to employ someone, it shouldn't actually take you 6 months to know. It shouldn't.
See, integrity is key, regardless of whether you meet the criteria or not. Integrity is key. You understand? And an institution like the Bank of Ghana, you can be whatever, but when your integrity is zero, you can't. Do you know, on the face of it, they might have thrown this and that. We went through this process and they did not meet the criteria, but deep down, we there are some informations
we wouldn't know.
We wouldn't have access to.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
I mean, yes, I sympathize with them. I really do, because I've been in a situation where I've been unemployed and I felt the pain. But it doesn't mean if they don't meet the criteria and because you are saying 6 months is enough to learn on the job. No, it doesn't matter. If you don't meet the criteria, you don't meet it. You don't meet it.
Which I actually get you. All I'm saying is this: like, as the 6 months not to, because see, if you leave me to work here for 6 months, telling me it's just probation, and you are paying me.
Okay.
Am I not going to feel comfortable? I will definitely feel like, Charlie.
Okay.
At 6 months, I'm a running show. Yeah,
Fair enough. You've learned on the job. You're expert with 6 months. What about if your employer goes to find that this guy is an ex-convict, he's an informant, he's a Mossad agent or
So
whatever.
you think
Should the
all
person
this
still
could
keep
play
him?
a part in why they were laid off?
No.
No, like it's not that particular thing, but maybe other instances, not even work related, but maybe in terms of integrity and all that.
Yeah,
You think
it's key. Integrity is key.
Yeah.
I mean, Obasanjo, when he was elected president, His Excellency, the former president of Nigeria, they asked him. He was employing his associates into key sectors of the economy, like the finance ministry, the security, and all of that, information ministry. The key sectors of the economy. He was employing his friends, his family, his associates, his schoolmates, and a journalist asked him, Your Excellency, why are you employing your family members and your friends and all of that into the key sectors of the economy? And he told the journalist, wait, when you become the president, and then you employ your enemies to come and work with you. You can't work with someone you don't feel comfortable with.
Yeah, because you see,
you feel comfortable with me. That's why you are working with me.
Learning on a job is not enough.
It's not enough,
because you see, sometimes.
Please, I hope my point.
I am trying to digest it.
You should because sometimes it's
I should.
It's not only it's not only about what you are doing, what you are learning.
Yeah.
You see, sometimes attitude even matters. How you even speak to customers, how you welcome people. You understand? You see, those things you don't expect your boss to teach you.
Okay.
You understand?
I mean, for 6 months.
PK, you see, so it's just like you telling me in the classroom, everybody should have an A. Is that what you mean?
You know,
I'm not saying that.
Everybody should have an A.
You know, the job that I'm currently working on, the job that I currently have. I mean, I've been there for almost 2 years. There are a lot of things that I haven't been able to grasp. But the reason why
still learning on the job.
The reason why they are holding me in high esteem is because of how I carry myself. Okay. I mean, they should feel comfortable working with you.
Okay.
I'm not the best qualified around. But the way I carry myself, the way I relate to issues, you understand. You don't have to be the best on the job. The question is, do your employers feel comfortable working with you? That's the main thing here. And the employers, BOG,
so,
should they feel comfortable?
It's a very high level institution.
So in this instance, we can take it like this: the NDC doesn't feel comfortable working with the NPP.
No,
is that what
BOG.
saying?
The BOG.
Yeah, that's
but okay, but the BOG, who is the president of the Bank of Ghana?
No, so are you
who is the
telling me,
governor?
so are you telling me? I mean, the BOG has all people working in the BOG are NDC.
No, but for instance, let's take this. You, as a politician, let's get into the politicization of it for a bit.
Okay.
So you mean these people we all hear that they were employed at the latter end of the NPP's administration, like their governance, had some NDC people in?
Of course. PK, look, you see, so far as you want us to bring politics in this, let's do small politics in this. You see, why should you even employ somebody at the latter end when transition period is ongoing? And then the people on the other side said, why won't you wait? Whatever that you are doing, make sure you let us know. We should be in the known. PK, again.
But these BOG people, those who are
PK, again.
Was that the time they were?
PK, look, some didn't even write an application letter.
From the BOG?
Oh, yes. Some didn't even write an application letter. Some didn't even go through interview. Aptitude test, some didn't even go through.
These people laid
PK,
off.
I'm telling you.
These people laid off.
I'm telling you.
Hey.
I'm telling you, some didn't even write an application letter.
How do you know?
I'm telling you. That is why I said we shouldn't. I don't want us to politicize this because I feel for them.
Okay.
You understand? I feel for them, so I don't want us to politicize this.
Okay.
If my colleague here was from the other side, then we could go politics on this.
Okay.
You understand? I feel for them. I just want to put myself in their shoe.
Okay.
You understand? Okay. So let's. I'm just hoping that they find other other place to work. Yeah.
Okay. Dennis, you're okay with it?
Yeah, but me, I still stand on the ground that
integrity
yes,
matters.
yes, there's unemployment issues in the country, but it doesn't mean we should throw anybody anywhere. That because you are unemployed, come and work with a serious institution like BOG. Nah, we can't. Charlie, when BOG is in a mess, the whole country shut down.
Just
I
because
mean,
of one incompetent
sure.
person.
No, we can't.
Okay.
We can't. Other sectors, we can take the risks, but with BOG, no, we can't do that.
Just take the risk.
We can't do that at all.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Can't do that at all.
Let's look at our last topic for the day, and this man is a person of interest to all of us, in the person of Mr. Kenofuriata. We know now that he is placed on the wanted list by the OSP, and in response to that, he came out to say that he is on medical treatment. He has some health issues. Just last week, we realized that, he's had a successful surgery. He's now recovering, so he's still not going to be able to report. So people had that conversation that if indeed we've now realized that this man was sick, he's had a surgery, why shouldn't we take him off the wanted list? Because clearly he couldn't appear because of his health issues. His lawyers sought for an injunction at the Human Rights Court, and it was thrown out that they don't have a case. I don't know what went into those merits, but looking at all the angles of this issue, do you think the Human Rights Court was fair in regards to this? Because the man, we now realize, is sick. He's had an operation or a surgery. So still placing him on that wanted list, whilst we know he couldn't appear because he was sick. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, PK. See, the first time it came to my notice, my attention, that Kenofuriata's lawyers have filed a suit at the Human Rights Court to injunct the OSP from investigating or declaring or taking him out of the red list. I was very surprised. It really shocked me.
Why?
I was very surprised because I wonder if there are people who are above the laws of Ghana. Is it what at all will come into a mind of an individual to not only to stop an OSP from putting somebody on the red list, but also stopping a security agency to stop to investigate.
Got it. Before you move on, let me ask you this. You know we have rights in this country.
Yes, we have.
Do you know why they took it to the Human Rights Court?
Why?
Don't you think fighting a man who is actually only exercising his human rights to health care is wrong? He didn't appear because he had health issues, and then you place him on a wanted list. Is that not human rights abuse?
It's not even just because he was sick and can't show up. There's another issue in regards to that which the lawyer said they want OSP to stop the investigation.
That's what they said.
Yes. It was part of it. That OSP should stop the investigation. It's against his human rights. But again, I wonder why. You see, lawyers of good standing shouldn't be embarking on some of these journeys, because it doesn't speak well of them. It really doesn't speak well of them, because it wouldn't help our democracy, and it also wouldn't help to ensure accountability. I think it's high time lawyers will come out and then always tell us what the constitution really tells us. They shouldn't come out and then peddle statements which does not really hold in the constitution. And of late, lawyers are doing that, which is not helping the public, but it's not educating, it's not bringing some sort of good or positive education to the people of Ghana. You see, before every security agency will summon someone or will declare someone wanted, okay, that security agency might have secured a warrant from the courts.
Okay.
And they just can't do that and then go in for somebody just like that. They will secure a warrant from the court, especially when the person is not found in the country or the jurisdiction. So it's not something that just happened. The OSP didn't just declare Oforiatta wanted. And so the lawyers should get it clear.
Okay.
So when the lawyers come out that, look, Oforiatta cannot be declared wanted or can't be on the red list, I'm wondering, so at what time do they think Oforiatta can be declared wanted? At what time do they think that, look, we can't find Ken Oforiatta, the former minister? So I'm wondering, what time do they think Oforiatta can be declared wanted?
Probably
again,
at the time where he is fit and refusing.
Again, they are even insisting that we try him in absentia. That is what the lawyers are even insisting. But
which is legal, it's constitution.
Because constitution says it clear that we can try someone in absentia. But it's not the case of Ken Oforiatta.
Why is it?
It's really not the case of Ken Oforiatta. Look, the constitution makes it clear that before somebody can be tried in absentia, okay, it's either the person has absconded, the person has run away, we can't find the person.
Okay.
So we can try the person in absentia. 2, we can only try another person in absentia when the person can't show up. Okay, has proven all beyond reasonable doubt that, look, I can't show up.
But is his reason not beyond reasonable doubt?
You see, people don't really understand some of these laws in the constitution. The constitution has made it clear that the person can't show up, the person has run away, the person is not in the country, is not in the jurisdiction. The person can be tried in absentia if only the person has been charged. If you've not been charged, how do we try you? If you've not been charged of a case, how do we try you? And how are you charged? You are charged when you give out your caution statements. You go to the police station, they give you paper to write your statement. They give you a form to write your statement. So how do you try the person when the person has not been charged? You understand? So that is the bottom line. He can't be tried in absentia. Look, the Maslock boss, former Maslock boss. I'm sure you know her case. He was charged before he was out of the country. And so she can be tried in absentia.
Okay.
You get it? So you see, the lawyers, I know that the lawyers of Ken Oforiatta knows this for a fact. But just want to make this whole thing politics. That is constitution we are talking about.
Okay.
You get it? That is constitution we are talking about.
Okay.
So you don't just come out and say because the Maslock boss previously, former Maslock, was tried in absentia, why is it that Ken Oforiatta can't be tried in absentia? But it's clear, the constitution is saying it clear that you have to be charged before.
Okay.
You get it?
That's fair.
So I mean, it's the right thing that the court has done. He's supposed to be on red list, and then whenever he's ready to come, maybe the OSP will take him out of the red list.
Okay, thank you there. Dennis.
Thank you once again for this opportunity. It has become a common trend that when a new government takes office and an appointment is given, you see the individual hopping, jumping, and laughing around like a kid being tickled. Wanting to serve with all the energy, the enthusiasm, and all of that.
Yeah.
You know, but after the government of the day terms expires, and it's time to render accounts for your stewardship. That is when they will be doing some theatrical, cinematic jingoism, running away from the law, and trying to play around the law with some theatrical nonsense, and it's all because we made corruption so much attractive instead of the other way around. I mean, this guy from what we know from the OSP, that this guy he has misappropriated funds. He has mismanaged funds.
He has caused financial loss to the state
and has caused damage to our financial space. And it's simple. I mean, you served, and you gladly did it, and you are being called to render accounts. What is this theatrical nonsense you are playing with?
What is theatrical in him not feeling well, and so he can't report until he feels better?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You are not feeling well. Fair enough. I mean, the call for you to render accounts didn't start today. It started way back, some time back, when you were feeling healthy. So what happened then? So it can be due to that now, this guy, you are running away from accountability. What is it that he has done that is making him play or dance ballet with the laws? What has he done?
But
what is he running away from?
But he hasn't said he's running away.
See, we are not kids here. You understand? and wherever space that he found himself, there are Ghanaian citizens there. And a month or so ago, there were photos of him circulating.
So he can't have breakfast again?
No, in a pub, a cancerous patient.
You're sick. You can't be walking. You can't.
I mean, we are not kids here.
Probably he was carried in a wheelchair today.
He's playing cat and mouse with us. You know, and I don't blame him. I blame successful government for making corruption this much attractive. You know, it's like they all still, and when it's time to render accounts, they start dancing salsa with the laws. And I just hope things change. I just hope this government use not sledgehammers. Use, how do you call it, compactor to flatten corruption in this country.
Okay.
Otherwise,
it will just be.
I mean, others are watching. Others too are watching. This guy, they are watching.
If nothing happens to him, then
they will also take same part.
Okay.
They will play around the law and go scot-free. These people have stolen generational wealth too. And they will pass it on to their children. Their children can pass it on to Charlie. These people have stolen. So please, they should spare us.
Okay.
Wherever he is, we should hold him by the balls
and drag him down
to account.
Okay, that's fair. Thank you, gentlemen. This is where we will be calling on the shots of the show. But before we go,
before we go, the last time I was here, and I was complaining about the high cost of data, and I pleaded to the sector minister, Honorable Sam George, that he should look at it for us, because in this day and age, we operate around internet, and it's becoming like a luxury, and which shouldn't be. It should be a necessity, and he's done it. 1st July, he's done it, and 1st July it will be on operation, and it will be up and running in 1st July. So I want to use this same medium to commend him on that.
Okay.
And lastly, I mean, the government is working, but it's not reflecting in our pocket. Things are unimaginably expensive. The fact that some of us can afford doesn't mean we should stay aloof or keep quiet. Things are bloody expensive. Underline, things are expensive. See, it doesn't make sense to buy a ball of kinky for 5 cedis. It doesn't make sense at all. At all, it doesn't make sense anywhere to buy a ball of kinky for 10 cedis. I went to GT Bank, East Legon branch. Forget about the space. Whether it's East Legon, I don't care. Forget about space. Some food items should be accessible to all. I went to buy cocoa. It's been long I had it, cocoa, and I end up spending almost 40 cedis. Does it make sense?
You don't know.
And there are people earning 600 cedis and 1,000 cedis salary. How can you survive on this? Why are common commodities a luxury now?
See, when they used to sell cocoa for 80 pesos and milk for 20 pesos to make 1 CD and all that. As at then, I was buying cocoa for 3 CDs at East Legon. As at then, so I'm not surprised.
It doesn't make sense. See, he said. Do you know what? This government was saying that the exchange rate we've arrested. I'm using Baumia words. This government, they're saying the exchange rate, the dollar to the city was appreciating and all of that, but it's not reflecting in our pocket.
Okay.
I mean, it's rather reduced people's income because there are a lot of folks here who are earning in USD. It only reduced their income. It didn't add. I mean, if your income is reduced, I mean, food stuff on the market.
I think that in regards to that,
you see,
things are bloody expensive.
Like my brother is saying, I just want to pass out some small comments.
You can build or whatever fundamentals, but when
the government
things are expensive,
the government has done its part. The government is trying to do its part. It's now left with we, the citizens of the country. You see, we will tend to blame the government when it is not supposed to be that way. It would be nice if traders, knowing that look, the government is really doing its part.
No, the government is the regulator here. I don't. The government is the regulator. Price control.
One thing about price is that government can control price.
No, I'm not saying.
It's a free market. It's an open market. I'm not. You see, what the government can do is
consumer. We have consumer protection agency.
I understand that fact.
One thing about those people is that they are an association. They are not like
they are not
a state agency.
Legal. You understand?
They are an association.
Let me tell you. We have agencies.
So you think that the government should?
And even with that, and I'm not cutting you off, both of you. Even with that, the consumer, the cats. They've come out to say that from next month things are going to, because when things CD began to appreciate, and we called on them to reduce. They said we should give them about 2 to 3 months, and that expires this month. So next month we are looking forward to some reductions in that.
It's the thing is, what I'm saying is, see, the president has, I'm not saying has done it all, but is trying its possible best to make sure that look, the major indicators that drives inflation, that drives goods and commodities up in terms of price are being dealt with. So the government can come down to that level to say, look, reduce your tomatoes price, reduce your pepper price. You see, it now boils down to we the citizen to also help. That is all that I'm saying. You get it? That's all that I'm saying. This is a free market. This is an open market. And then you can't, you see, this is not a cool regime where you say anybody who sells this we will come for you. You get it? The best the government can do is what the government has done. So it's now left with we to be human to help ourselves. Because look, if the person selling this or item very expensive will go to buy something very expensive, but that person will be complaining.
Okay.
You understand?
I don't know. Do you know? I don't understand why things in ShopRite should be cheaper than staff in Mokola. Does it make sense? A central business district too. Things are bloody expensive. I'm telling you, even with transport.
Okay.
Things are expensive.
Gentlemen, please, your last words. You people are. Your last words then.
Yeah. So things are expensive, and all what the government is doing is not reflective in our pocket. So I think they should be up and doing. I mean, things are bloody expensive.
Okay. So I'll also bleed on traders to help with the government to help and then reduce prices of items because people are complaining. And then it's not only the first person complaining. So they should help the government. And then I'll use this opportunity to say a very big good morning to all members, NDC members in the Trobo constituencies, right from our chairman to the grassroots. I say a very big good morning to them.
Okay. Yes. The reason why I was actually calling on the gentlemen to say their last words because I'm in anticipation to go and have my breakfast. You know how we do it on the Ghana Talks Radio. We come every morning to serve you the breakfast show. And afterwards, we need to fill our bellies with our own breakfast. Things that will give us the energy to continue the day and the week to bring you another insightful discussion tomorrow. And today, the breakfast I'm being served there. And it's coming from Big Joe's Organic Wachi. Big Joe's Organic Wachi. This is the only wachi with organic ingredients. Everything is organic. Adibia Bedu watching movie, no additives, nothing. It's organic from Big Joe. Big Joe is located at Tema Committee 7 opposite GTP Textiles. Also, Committee 9 besides Greens Lounge. Their numbers are 0599681123, 0599681123, 0540430351, 0540430351. If this morning we are looking for any refreshing organic meal to have for your breakfast, I recommend Big Joe's to you. See, this is the only watcher that one time I was with this pastor. He was having this 40 days something fasting and prayers. This man did it to 38 days. The 39th day, I went to buy my Big Joe watcher to eat, and this man saw the watcher and he told me that, hey, watch away pa do obedi na 40 days and then say obesan restart BM. That tells you how sweet and delicious the Big Joe watch is. So yeah, get in touch with Big Joe's and they will serve you. Their food is so delicious, nice, and it's affordable too. You can book them for all your events, your birthday parties and all that. Wherever you are, all across the capital city, Big Joe's can deliver to you wherever you are. So Big Joe's, big shout outs to you for serving me the watch to hey the way my energy come and I you but Big Joe's dine keke kra mami energy, and I leave you with the same energy to continue your day. I will sign off here. Let me go and enjoy my Big Joe's organic wachi. Also, wow, unis can what the friend numbers no also. Ofra kasa pa kwesi o mare ye be ma o discount why watch we there wa wan kan hwe no wo mpe we na ope aponchi bye bye.